And welcome to another edition of South Texas Crossfire. This is Attorney Joe Flores reminding you to join us each and every week right here on KTMV with the Lopez family. Special thanks to my good friend Carlos Lopez. And we are honored today to have on, and you know we're a big supporter of the arts and dance here on KTMV, as you can see on our videos, but there's other types of dance we're going to be talking about, and we have the pleasure of bringing on the matriarch, I could say, of dance here in Corpus Christi in the Coastal Bend, Miss Nancy Sulik. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
Well,
thank you for inviting me to talk about one of my lifelong favorite subjects.
Well, I think that there's a lot of young men and young women that are beholding to you because you showed them a whole new world, and we were going to be talking about dance. And just for people that are first meeting you on TV and our 300,000 subscribers, can you tell us a little bit about where you grew up and your education and background?
I'm proud of my background. I'm from Mississippi, and I've studied with lots of teachers. In France, I studied with teachers in New York, in Washington, in New Orleans, all over. And since 1978, we have been incorporated as Corpus Christi Concert Ballet so that we have the advantage of being tax-exempt organization, Corpus Christi Concert Ballet, and we have initiated educational programs that reach children of all economic brackets. We work with the school districts. I've worked extensively with CCISD and with Rockport ISD and all of the surrounding communities. And we feel like that we can reach children that don't have the opportunity and don't have the advantage of having movement in their backgrounds, because I've studied with Anne Green Gilbert, who is a fabulous teacher from Seattle, Washington, in early childhood development. And I am one of her disciples, and I teach that for 3- and 4-year-olds, and they continue to have it through high school and college.
Well, and it's an honor to have you on, because it is something that I believe that we have woefully underfunded, and that's why I'm glad that we have the not-for-profit organization of Corpus Christi Concert Ballet, that people can get involved and donate. We have wonderful sponsors, but everyday folks like me and everybody else out there watching can also get involved and go attend.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about the programs that you've instituted and that help these young men and women.
Well, we have a very graphic flyer, and it says reach out to outreach, and it lists all of the outreach programs that we're involved in. The Student Performing Arts Series, which the acronym is SPAS, provides educational matinee programs for the schools around Corpus Christi, as far south as Falfurrias and the coastal towns, to come and bring their school children to see our matinee performances of the Nutcracker and whatever performance we do in the spring. So that is that outreach, and then we go into the schools to do the encore program. And as we all know, encore means more, and we do programs with ballet and dance and theater and mime, and it's a wonderful program for kids that don't get exposed to all of that.
And there's a lot of kids that don't get exposed nowadays, where we have the entertainment as either movies or games.
And they sit and watch a screen. And
Right.
now this program, they have to get up and do it.
Right.
So this is good for them. And we also do the peek shows. And that is not peek in and sneak around, but peek, P-I-Q-U-E, is the French word to excite one's personality.
Yes.
Or excite one's imagination. And we do peek shows for PTAs, PTOs, for teacher meetings, and all kinds of educational things. And we take dancers into the schools, and we do excerpts from our repertoire.
Well, and we want everybody out there who's watching and who has a child to get involved. On the screen is going to be the contact information and the website for Corpus Christi Concert Ballet, and also the educators out there that are listening. I know many of you all good friends, teachers and teachers' aides, and these assistants and paraprofessionals. My daddy was a teacher, and so we are very, very honored as always to thank the teachers out there that y'all make a difference. But there's also, dance is also teaching the child. And tell us a little bit about how dance and the arts impact the child's mind, their spirit, and how it helps the whole family.
Well, dance movement is therapeutic. In learning ballet and dance and modern and jazz and all of the movements of dance, they have to be very concentrated and focused. And it teaches a child to focus and to move at the same time. And that's one of the basic things. We have a program called DART, Dance and Rhythm Training, and we called it that for boys especially, because boys think maybe dance is sissy or ballet is sissy or whatever. But with this DART program, the boys as well as the girls have to really use their muscles and learn to move quickly. Skipping is very important in the movement concepts of thinking.
Well, and I don't think it's sissy, because all the good dancers I knew were the boys, always had the girls flocking around them because they were good dancers, you know. So it takes
Works
a lot
both
of
ways.
That's right. That's right. And it also builds concentration and discipline. So tell us a little bit about the studio there. Y'all are located on Alameda across from Driscoll and Ada Wilson.
Right.
And the studios are comprised of what?
There are two studios, and we offer ballet, jazz, contemporary, and we offer tap, and we offer a class called Tarzan's Tigers, and that's my boys' class.
Tarzan's Tigers, I like it.
And we have male teachers teaching those boys, and they get in there and really work and sweat. And the girls cannot watch. It's closed doors.
Oh,
All
I
boys.
see. And there is one dancer in particular that everybody, we're going to talk about the Nutcracker here in a minute. We're really excited. That's the annual event that comes up. And who is the one who jumps so high?
Keegan O'Brien.
Keegan O'Brien
Is a graduate of TAMU in kinetic training, and he is fabulous. He started out young doing gymnastics, and he found that he had an elevation, and he's increased it. Sometimes he's just breathtaking.
Well, yes, he is a great performer. Yeah. And now Mr. Clower couldn't be here today, but we're going to bring him on here pretty quick before the Nutcracker comes.
That's good.
Yes, and tell us a little bit about Tom Clower.
Tom Clower grew up in East Texas, and he studied in Dallas with some very famous teachers. George Scabine was one of his teachers. And when that company, Ballet Dallas, was taken over by Tom, who was one of the dancers there. And Tom has worked all over the United States in different sections, setting ballet pieces that he worked with Mr. Scabine on, and some of his original works. And then he has started working with Tanzama, which is dance in Austria, for 6 weeks every summer. And he works with the Glenda Brown Choreography Project. They're out of Houston, and they go and set up the venues where we perform. This is our 5th year to go to Austria. I take dancers every other summer. And this is an eye-opener for them. They are totally on their own, and they have to be sure that they make every rehearsal that is called. And we take usually 3 pieces and perform them.
My name is Tom Clower. I am a former dancer, but currently I'm what's called a master teacher. I started dancing when I was 6 years old. And I'm from East Texas, and so we started commuting to Dallas. And by the time I was 9, I was working with the Dallas Civic Ballet, which later became Dallas Ballet, the professional company, which later became Ballet Dallas, the professional company, of which I was the director. I studied in Europe. I studied at the School of American Ballet in New York. I've been I started teaching very early. The way our studio is set up, the young men were taught by teenagers, the teenagers were taught by the company members, and then the company members were taught by the professionals. And so as I moved up from a little kid to a teenager, I started teaching the little kids. When I became a professional, I started teaching all of them, and then later on so I was teaching really before I was actually even a professional dancer. I'm celebrating 40 years of teaching next year. So we go to Austria. I work with a company called Young Tonsummer, and Tonsummer means dance in the summer. And Big Tonsummer is a presenting organization out of Innsbruck. And basically what we are is an educational outreach arm of that situation. Our company takes 5 civic companies like Corpus Christi Concert Ballet twice. So every year we take 10 companies, and we go over there, and it's a 12-day tour, and they perform over the 12 days in 5 different cities, up to 7 to 9 performances and 10,000 people. So it's a really good experience for these kids. Being in the arts in America, and especially Texas, for my entire life, getting an audience is difficult. And you can depend on your mom and your grandma to be there, but for some reason we don't teach culture, and so we're going to lose the culture. But over there, the people love it. They stand up, they stomp their feet. Our shows are sold out a year in advance. So it's a great situation. Nancy's taken her company this will be her 5th time when we go back next year. So it's a good opportunity, and the kids not only get to perform for the people I'm talking about, but they get to be exposed to different cultures of the world. And we've made sure that that every place that we go on the tour, they get an educational aspect to it. They get information about the city or the place that we are, and they get a walking tour in all the places. So they're really getting a broad spectrum of our sister country in Austria. The reality is, when I was very young, I was invited to come here with 2 of the principal dancers at Dallas Ballet. I was 19 years old the first time I came here, and we were doing Coppelia. And Ann Burton Avery, who was at one time the lead dancer at Atlanta Ballet, was working with our company in Dallas, and Kurt Hathaway were coming here, and I came down as the lead mazurka boy, which is sort of 3rd string backup lead dancer. So my first experience with Miss Sulik and her organization was in 1979. After that, she brought me back a couple of times later on as a guest artist. And then after that, when I became the director of Ballet Dallas, on a number of occasions, she had me come and bring my company. And we instigated the civic company, Corpus Christi Concert Ballet, with Ballet Dallas. And we did a number of years of performances like that. Over the years, this is the 7th year that they've done my production of Nutcracker. My production of Nutcracker is actually Mr. Skabeen's. Mr. George Skabeen was my director, and it's his that I've inherited. I'm the administrator of his estate, and so I go around and stage his works all over the world. And Concert Ballet has been doing, this is, like I said, the 7th year that we've done that. They also do Mr. Skabeen's Firebird that I've brought here. They've done My Alice in Wonderland. We've done Cinderella here. They've done numerous pieces of concert works, 15 to 20-minute pieces, not only on the local stage here, but also in Austria. They've danced my works over there. The Nutcracker, of course, is an annual event. It's a situation where all of the kids in the school, all of the kids in the community are able to perform on the same stage with professionals. Mrs. Sulik's idea is that we present guest artists, because it's a very helpful tool for our kids to see. Like, for example, today we've been working with dancers, men dancers that we brought in to prepare for Nutcracker. They're just a little bit older than the kids that are actually working with them, and so they get the opportunity to witness what it's like to be a professional dancer. And then we bring in the stars from Florida that work with us as the Sugar Plum Fairy and the Cavalier, and they get to see what it really is like. Lots of companies let their kids do the roles, and this is just a different concept, you know. Mrs. Sulik has a heart for education that is beyond any that I've come across. I tour the world. I'm in a different place every Monday. Every Monday I'm in a different location working with a different company. And Mrs. Sulik, I come here over and over and over because of her heart for education. Not only for the kids that we're educating in this room, but for the people that are out there in the community, that she wants them to have culture. You know, not taking away from their own culture, because there's a huge dichotomy of cultures here in this town, but also, you know, exposing them to dance and music and singing and theater. She just really believes in that, and as do I. And so that's one of the reasons that I come back over and over and over. She asked me back because we really see eye to eye on outreach, and you know, and reaching out to the public and making sure that that the next generation is prepared. You know, it's so important, and the thing that the arts do for kids, okay, basically kids, because once they get to teenagers and above that, it's too late, you know, but the arts make them think. They make them create. You and I, when we were kids, went out in the yard and we made believe that we were whatever we were, pirates or cowboys or whatever we were that day. Every day, that's what we did. We went out and we made our minds work. And now the kids can type. And that's all they can do is they sit, they don't even turn their heads. They just sit and type and look up things on the internet. They're exposed to a lot. You know, the internet is exposing them to a lot of things, good and bad, but they're not creating. And the arts really force the kids to well, these kids that I've worked with this weekend, the little ones yesterday, some of them had to be toys that come to life, you know, and they have to build that character. Some of them are mice, you know, that are around, you know, chasing Clara. Soldiers. Today we had snowflakes in here, you know, and the weather was perfect for it because it's really cold here today. But, you know, it's important. And when I see them being the people that make the decisions, cutting the arts out of schools, you know, and unfortunately, the arts seem to go first, so we can spend more money on the sports. And the sports are great. I'm all about the sports, but there needs to be a balance. There has to be a balance, and the balance. And I don't know anything about the Corpus Christi Corpus Christi School District. I'm not specifically talking. I'm talking about in general. Just in general, the arts are stepchildren. You know, pushed aside, and they're the first ones, you know, cut out. Exactly. So that's a shame. So we're working hard to make sure we're trying to fill in the gaps. Everyone needs to come see it. This year, we're at Selena Auditorium. We're the weekend just prior to Christmas, so everyone's coming in, your family's coming back from wherever, and it'd be a great opportunity to celebrate Christmas all together.
Mm-hmm. And you know, you yourself, tell us a little bit about you touched on where you trained, mm-hmm. but you said also out of the country. What were some of your influences that led to your passion for dance?
Well, I went to summer school 2 summers at the University of Caen, which is in Normandy.
Oh, wow.
And that was amazing because that's where all of the battlefields took place in World War II, and it was historic. And I've always been a history fan, and I fell in love there. But I also, we had some performances that I participated in at the university those 2 summers. And I've danced in England, and I have a dancer right now who is doing, well, she's done a lot of musicals, but she danced at Sadler's Wells.
And we get people on the internet that watch this that do speak French and stuff, so I always throw a shout out to them. Bienvenue à mes amis qui parlent le français aussi. Oh. And then Normandy, you know, we've even got people as far as Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire, that'll say that they'll see it on there, and people from Brazil. And so we put it on YouTube. So we may even link it. You send it to Austria, and we'll give a big shout out while we're there. We're going to put it on YouTube. Good. Diamond Dave here likes to load them up so everybody can see this interview.
Great.
and share it.
That is wonderful.
Well, so you've had some European influence here in America, and then people will say, because, you know, Corpus is, to me, a great jewel. A lot of people say, oh, Corpus is lacking this, Corpus is lacking that. We're moving forward.
Right.
And what brought you to Corpus? I mean, you've pretty much traveled the
Well,
world and came to
have.
Corpus.
I studied ballet at the Washington Ballet in the capital. And then when I graduated, I went to Europe for 2 years and danced in different places in Europe. But before I left, I had a street encounter with a man that I thought was way too old and mature for me. But he was with a friend of mine, Chuck Cazot, who was a Notre Dame boy. And my husband, future husband, was his friend. And so I said goodbye, Jack, and I went to Europe for 2 years, but he was waiting for me when I got back.
Oh,
He was a geologist, and we married, and he moved to Corpus before I was able to. I was teaching school in Houston. And so we moved here, and we lived here 55 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and we're neighbors with each other. And what is that beautiful plant that's around the house I passed by?
Oh, that is called the shrimp plant. That's our nickname for it. I don't know what it's called.
It's beautiful.
But it doesn't require any care.
Well, that's the kind I need. I have no green thumb. So, you know, I'm trying to get beds of roses for my wife, but it's difficult, you know.
Yeah, I think you have to hover over them and take care of them.
You know, and just to, you know, how I became a stakeholder in all this is because my daughter Vanessa really loves dance. You started with her when she was about 3, so all of that, we are a living testament how it works for young girls and young boys.
It sets them on the right path, and if they stick with it, there's not much time to deviate and go hang out at the mall or in clubs.
Well, and that kind of keeps you out of trouble.
They have to be very self-motivated.
So we're going to have more information on there, and we're here with Miss Nancy Sulik, who has started this since 1978. We're going to take a break. When we come back with Nancy Sulik, we're going to be talking more about Corpus Christi Concert Ballet and the website. While you're on the break or you want to get a chips and a snack, you can go visit the website. We'll have that information up and where to call to get involved when we come back. And we're back after a brief break. Thanks for joining us again. This is Attorney Joe Flores right here on KTMV, and we are also proud sponsors of the arts, entertainment, and dance. And with that, we welcome back Miss Nancy Sulik from Corpus Christi Concert Ballet right there on Alameda, across from Driscoll and Ada Wilson. And we're asking everybody out there that has a corporation, business, hotels, accommodations to help out and call us up.
Right.
And if you want to become a sponsor, you can call us. It's a nonprofit, tax deductible. That's always important. And y'all have been so since 1978.
Right. And many of the hotels already are very good about giving students discounted rooms, which is a big help.
Well, and then just rewinding a little bit, I'm very excited, and as you said, you know, earlier, how dance helps young minds. My daughter is one. You said keeps them out of the malls, keeps them out of trouble.
Oh, and that's not a good thing to stay out of the malls.
That's right. You need to shop. I mean, you got to sometimes, but you know what she means.
Yes.
You know, to stay out of trouble where it's just idleness. You know, keeps you busy.
Right. Great.
Kids, if y'all are interested in seeing something that will be a very entertaining show and will change your experience and seeing how dance comes together, we want your teachers, ask your teachers about taking you to the Nutcracker. We're going to have a matinee for them. And I think this year it's only going to be $1 or $2 to go.
Right.
Yes. So with that, with less than the price of a lunch, you get to go see some entertainment.
Yes. And I think that the children usually use this as a little field trip, and they either bring their lunch and eat it down on the waterfront, or go across the bridge and eat it by the Lexington. So it's a good opportunity to see the Bay Area of Corpus Christi.
And so many children, especially in the less affluent areas, they don't get enough of that. They don't get enough of see the arts and entertainment. So we're asking everybody, teachers, principals, our superintendent, good friend of ours of the show, asking him to help coordinate it. And we're looking for sponsors to sponsor a school, only about $75 or $100 to get a bus to take all the children out there, and you get a big shout out when they show up. And we're also going to be working with seniors. My wife has a very big passion for helping. Priscilla loves working with the seniors, so she'll be coordinating efforts with Commissioner Jag to get some of the seniors out there.
That's great. We've started doing that, and I think that's very good to reach out to the seniors.
Yeah, and on a Sunday, for the seniors out there that love to watch our program, we know you're out there and you're watching it there in the facilities that you're at, which are your home, the assisted living and things. We've got a broad audience there. We're asking you all to think about that too. So mark your calendars from December 18th to about the 21st, is it? We're going to have shows with the Nutcracker. All right, a lot of people hear about the Nutcracker. Let's cut down to the meat and potatoes of it. What is the Nutcracker, and what's the story based upon?
It's a wonderful story of a young girl and her brother, mischievous brother, and they have an uncle that dotes on them named Herr Drosselmeyer, and he brings a very special gift to Clara, which is a doll. And then there's a party scene there. All the adults are at a big party. And Clara takes the doll after the party is over and stretches out on the living room sofa and falls asleep. And in her first sleep, her first dream, is of the Nutcracker Prince, who comes to her and appears to her. And of course she grows older and becomes a fabulous dancer, and the whole story evolves around different aspects of dance, like the Waltz of the Flowers is the big dance at the end, and then there's the Waltz of the Snowflakes with the Snow Queen, and we have Chinese dancers, and they go to all the different, she goes with the Nutcracker to all the different lands, the Nutcracker Prince.
It almost reminds me of Alice in Wonderland in a way, a little bit, something magical, you know. And the adults get all into it too. When we go, I never get tired of seeing it,
I know.
You know.
It's beautiful.
Because it's like, even, and the production we put on, I would say rivals any in the world. I've seen them on YouTube. I've seen it in New York. We've had the opportunity to go to Lincoln Center and also in Washington. A good friend of mine there, also Mr. Weber, runs the Washington Ballet, and we're going to take my daughter to go meet him and see them do their auditions.
Oh, great.
Yes. And so, but what you and Mr. Clower and everybody else does rivals anything in the world. And I don't care. Bolshoi Ballet, we'll give them. Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, we know about the story. Tell us about the people that make it happen. They're from the monitors, the mothers and parents that watch the girls, to the people who make the costumes. What does it take on the production to make this happen?
It really takes an army of helpers. We have seamstresses, we have hairdressers, we have makeup artists, we have the costumers work behind the scenes a long time to get all the costumes fitted. And of course the rehearsals involve the technical aspects of learning all the dances. But we have a lot of adult helpers that love to do it, and they are wonderful helpers.
And it is an all-volunteer thing. I want to thank all the parents out there and everyone else who is with the Guild.
Yes.
And they are really, really passionate about it. In fact, we were even pitching in. My wife wanted to give some flooring on one of the floors you have in case you need it. We had some left over. We said, we got to help out. We know carpenters, we know everybody. So it takes an army, like you said. Yeah. Everybody pitches in a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to have that kind of volunteer corps.
Yes, and you know, I think that we encourage everyone to come see dance. And now there's also some, not just that one is going to be at, help me out here, Selena Auditorium. And just children in general that they want to get more information and call, and they want to dance year round. Who would they call and what number?
Area code 361-854-7969.
854-7969 is the golden number to call.
That is Concert Ballet's telephone number. That's a big job.
Well, and like us on Facebook, Corpus Christi Ballet, Concert Ballet, pardon me. Corpus Christi Concert Ballet, that's the key word, Concert Ballet. At closing arguments, I always tell the lawyers when they come on, but this is more of a, how would you say when you're finishing up something beautiful at the end of a ballet?
Oh, always well done and exciting.
Yes, and
yes.
What would you like to tell the ladies and gentlemen out there in Corpus Christi and surrounding areas who have a young child or who want to learn about dance?
Well, I think that that's a way to usher in the next week when Santa Claus comes and when everybody goes to church. And it's a wonderful gift to give a Nutcracker ticket to a child, to take that child to see the Nutcracker. Maybe it'll be the first time or the 10th time that they've seen it. But it really is heartwarming for the whole family to go.
Well, and Nancy Sulik, you can contact her, and the number is going to appear in front of your screen, and I finally got the website right. And also like us, Corpus Christi Concert Ballet, and you can see all the wonderful pictures and find out exactly what it's all about yourself on there. So we're out of time, but I want everybody out there to get involved, Corpus Christi Concert Ballet, and look them up on the phone book, Google them. Go ahead and visit their website and like them on Facebook. And Nancy Sulik, we want to thank you, Miss Nancy.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on. And for our Latino viewers and everybody else, get involved with dance, get involved with the arts and support it. Any businesses that want to get involved or just friends of the arts, patron of the arts, anybody can be a patron of dance and the arts. So I encourage everybody to get involved. We're signing off. And again, thanks to the Lopez family and our greatest sponsor, God. Without him, nothing is possible. So we're out of time. Thank you all and God bless.